I need my movies to have strong alpha male characters. I'm not gay. I need them to not be the MCU. I'm not gay. I need my films to be very serious and have buff macho men being very serious and introspective. I'm not gay. Let's go ahead and get into talking about the quartering. Now we've got he's got a video about Thor: Love and Thunder. Everybody's been freaking out about it on Twitter for some reason, so I figured we'll go ahead and take a look at it, see what there is to see. It'll be as new to me as it is to you if you haven't seen it already. But first of all, the fan art section. This one is from Lexi the Mistress. Neko Suris found a slime Suris plushie. This image has no business being as fucking cute as it is. It has none. This is not fair. Also, I do have a slime Suris plushie. It's right next to the Vaporeon on top of my computer. So yes, that is a thing. Anyways, it is adorable, and it has no business being as adorable as it is. The next one is from Smallmaru, and the one we have here is whoop, Suris is a shiny rock now. Sorry. I just had to do a Hosuka no Kuni, a way too underrated manga crossover, even if it means no booba, because canonically gems are genderless. By the way, the gem I used is Fire Agate. Pretty stone, but hard to draw. Thank you, as always, Smallmaru, for your contributions into the fan art channel. And the next one we have is from Mathematical Cabbage. I know what this is of, and you all will know at one point as well, because at the time Mathematical Cabbage dropped this image, I thought it was just like, oh, it's another fan art. That's cute. And then later on, well, I will not spoil the surprise. If you're in the Discord, you can scroll chronologically down to see what this ends up being later on down the road. For the time being, though, you'll just have to hear me be cryptic. But it's adorable, and I can't wait to see what it transforms into. As always, everybody, thank you for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in the channel, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. With that said, let's go ahead and get into... That is a face of shock if I have ever seen it. Sometimes I wonder how long it'll take to get caught up. The last time I got caught up, people dropped like 20 pieces of fan art, like they were just sitting on them, and then we were not caught up anymore. I don't know what time is. Time is a linear measurement of all of my mistakes that I have ever made, including watching a quartering video. That's the oh fuck, what did I get into face?
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from TheQuartering, and the trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder dropped today, and I just couldn't care less.
So why are you making a video about it? Oh my god, Ethan Hacker. Hi, I recently changed my Twitch name from Freya to this since I kind of started to stream recently. Oh, that's why a name that is new to me is able to start fucking war on my channel. Freya, I swear to God, you know how I feel about that, and yet you decided to do this. Thank you for letting me know about the name update, but also, why? Why would you betray me this way? Why would you betray me this way? For those who don't know, Freya just dropped 50,001 channel points just to make me say the fucking words, and somehow so many of you have enough of those points now. What is wrong with you? Stop watching me! Oh, whoa. Oh, whoa. There, are you happy? You got your weird, gross-ass word. You did it. Nuricles, thank you very much for redeeming your points for an owl. Owl. The correct one. And Avalon of Babylon, thank you for redeeming your points for an... you fucking monster. Jeremy, torture us, please.
It's no longer the MCU to me, or even the hilarious MCU. It's literally become the meh-CU to me.
So, okay. Here's the question that you have to ask yourself. Is the MCU bad now because... something fundamentally has actually changed with the writing, or is it more that you got the Infinity Saga, and now you're bored because you don't know what it's leading to. I know the Discord invite is currently expired. It'll be updated in a few days. We just had to deal with a raid is all. But I do like, at the very least, that he didn't handle him just sit there on the MCU thing, because come on, guys, can we just agree unilaterally the MCU thing has never been a funny joke? Never. It has always just been, at its core, a person going, there are female protagonists now. And that makes me sad. Because I'm not gay, but I have to see a protagonist with a dick. It really just kind of boils down to that. It's never been a good joke. It's never been funny. And yet, people have latched on to it so much. But a tiny bit there. But I'm not going to sit here and say the MCU is the best thing in the world. It's amazing. You have to love it. Like, no, if you don't like the MCU, that's fine. Nobody cares. But why make a video about it?
I see a lot of my cohorts on Twitter, and this isn't a dig on them or a slight on them, but like, you know, I just think that most people are over the Marvel excitement. I saw the trailer to Thor Love and Thunder, and it was exactly what I expected. Taika Waititi, I think, is an insufferable human being, but I do love his work. Jojo Rabbit was excellent. His work on What We Do in the Shadows is good. This movie didn't need to exist. It's yet another Thor's trying to find himself story, which is like the third time we've done this. And as Melanie Mac...
Hold on. Is it really, though? Like, okay, we've had... I know in Infinity War, right? We had Thor finding himself, or coming back to who he was, right? He was returning to who he was because the failures of what happened during Infinity War fucked with him. So when we got Endgame, he had to kind of figure out who he was. He was in full-on PTSD. This was a guy who, like, he had lost his way and needed to find himself back. But people don't just stop growing. Like, they don't. And a character finding out an aspect of themselves that is super important and then finding another aspect of themselves later, that's fairly realistic. It's like Queen Trinity says we had 3 Iron Man movies where he was basically the same character by the next movie. Yeah, it's like in almost every Iron Man movie, we got just a little bit more Tony Stark humanization each time. And that's not a bad thing. If you have a long-running series with a character who you're going to have constantly learn life lessons, that's not a bad thing. And in this movie, it looks like maybe we're going to have a Thor who is going to be learning that you don't have to solve as many problems with violence as he originally did. The whole, like, macho warrior mindset. I don't see anything necessarily wrong with exploring that story. I have seen people freak the fuck out about, oh my god, why do we have a lady Thor here? That's been a thing in the comic books for so long. You have no idea. If you want comics accurate characters, but you're not willing to have the comic characters on the screen, what are you doing? But okay, continue. We're off point now.
Puts it aptly. The toxic positivity crowd around MCU movies is out in full force, talking about, yeah, slay queen, oh my god, Valkyrie's in a suit, she's so a gender, oh, she's so, this is stunning and brave, oh my god. Hey, I'll tell you this, at least Natalie Portman did some work. If you look at her arms, I'm not saying she's cut, but like she put on some weight. And she put on muscle. I mean, yeah, okay, maybe this image is like, you know.
Wait, hold on. Why is it wrong for people to be like, it looks like I have more potential agender representation in a thing. That makes me happy. Like, how is that a problem? What? At least Natalie Portman did some work? I think I know the reason why Quartering doesn't get in debates with people. I think I know the reason why. Honestly, it feels like there is no ability to form an argument There is only ability to analyze surface level.
CGI like everything in Thor or in the MCU, but like she did this. And look, Jane Foster is a real thing. It's a real character. I don't care about Jane Foster, but some people do. Thor, I believe, continues to be used to prop up other properties. In the trailer, we see Thor essentially abandon the Guardians of the Galaxy to go on for yet another soul-searching, adventure where he makes jokes. And we know that that's the modern Marvel film. Here's how you do a Marvel film. You throw in a bunch of mediocre CGI, and then somebody who hands you...
I like how he says mediocre CGI. If you, quartering, if you want to see mediocre CGI, please go watch the Star Wars prequels again. That is an example of mediocre CGI. The CGI in Marvel movies tends to be very high budget, very well crafted. The only reason that anybody calls those films mediocre, in terms of like the visuals, they say the visuals are mediocre, the CGI itself is usually because of either a failure of the shot composition, because the cinematography in a lot of Marvel movies leaves stuff to be desired, or alternatively, you've been burnt out on Marvel films, and despite the fact that they have a bar that has been set very high, you see them meet that bar repeatedly, and you're like, this is mediocre. I know what mediocre CGI looks like, and it's not what's generally in a Marvel film.
Do the shaker of jokes had pulled a prank on you and loosened the whole lid. So instead of pouring in, just the appropriate number of jokes, you just dump the whole thing in. The entire movie's joke, 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 joke for 2 hours.
I wonder if he's been seeing the same Marvel films I have, because typically Marvel humor is not joke, 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 joke. It's everybody is very serious. You have a very serious moment, and then there is a joke that happens at the end to cut the tension. Which, don't get me wrong, that's a criticism that I have a lot of Marvel films as well, is that when they should take themselves more seriously in certain scenes, they kind of don't. And a lot of that kind of began with Joss Whedon, I want to say. A lot of that did begin in Avengers. But the criticism there is not joke, 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 joke. The criticism there is they use jokes to punctuate moments of poignance when they should just let the moment live and breathe on its own. So it's like I find myself agreeing with the spirit of the point, but I don't find myself agreeing because the point in and of itself that way, expressed that way, is fucking bad.
And that's fine for some people. I think that I myself...
At least he added that part.
Got caught up a little bit in just being negative about the MCU movies for negativity's sake. And there are always a bunch of my viewers like, hey man, come on, don't make me feel like garbage just because I want to watch Hawkeye and it's made by Disney and Disney's bad. And they're right. Life is short. Use a VPN. Find other ways you can enjoy a lot of properties, Marvel properties, without giving Disney your money. That's all I ask.
So, is this going to be the weird video where I end up agreeing with Quartering? Is that what's going to happen? Am I going to be sitting here agreeing with Jeremy? Because I actually agree with that take. I think we agree for different reasons. Just like I think that the reason that I don't agree with his take on the humor thing is not the spirit of the issue. It's the way he delivered the point. Here, I think that when it comes to the Disney thing, from the other content I've seen of Jeremy's, his issue with Disney is, oh my God, it's woke. Politics, something, something. So I'm perfectly fine accepting the point. Yeah, don't agree with Disney. Don't give them your money if you don't have to. But it feels like the spirit behind that, based on other content I've consumed from Jeremy, it's not great. It's that although he's right for a wrong reason, it's like when you've got the conspiratorial nut job who hates government because government told him to put on his socks that day or some shit. And then you've got the person who literally was wronged by the government in some way. Like, they both have beefs with the government, but one of them has a good reason, and the other one's Alex Jones.
Somebody's got a free trial. Maybe your cell phone carrier's got a free trial. Somebody's got it locally stored. Somebody, you could watch it, you have a friend who has an account. I don't want to be that guy that for the next 10 years, every time a Marvel movie comes out, I'm like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. And it's not because the people that do that are wrong. It's because I'm just tired of it. I'm just exhausted. I'm so tired of it all, the meme, like, yes, it's going to be a mediocre Marvel movie. Every movie that comes out for Marvel now, for me, I'll get around to it eventually to stream it. There's nothing that Marvel is putting out outside of the new Captain Marvel movie that I'm like excited about.
What? So that does have to ask. That does have to beg the question. Like, why are you excited for the Captain Marvel movie? I understand that like he hates the Captain Marvel movies. Is he just excited to be mad? It is weird. It is weird. Also, Passion VA says, "Oh look, I pissed in my basement because my wife is gone." Guy. Oh my god. I don't know. Jeremy's a weird guy to me. He always reads very mixed. Like, when he says something yikesy, it is like super yikes. Like when he said that, oh, Hitler earned a Nobel Peace Prize. What did you do? Oh, hating Hitler. Yikes. Like when he does shit like that, it's like, oh my God, Jeremy, could you not? Could you please not? Holy shit. And then sometimes you get takes like this where I'm just like, dude, why did you even make this video? You obviously don't care about this thing. But okay, continue.
I'm excited, obviously, mimetically, for the Captain Marvel movie. I actually don't have any issue whatsoever with Natalie Portman. I really like Natalie Portman. I just don't care about Jane Foster. And we all know why the story has Jane Foster in it. It's about passing the torch. It's the same reason we're talking about Riri Williams taking over for Iron Man. It's about the MCU. But these movies...
But, okay, so here's where I have to ask the question. Jeremy, is it that the MCU doesn't matter, which was your conversation at the beginning of the movie, where you were like, it's not even that it's the MCU, I don't care about that. But then you backtrack that, now you're relying on the MCU point. Now you're relying on that again. I don't understand why. Is it that you wanted to begin the video very disarmingly and then immediately like fall back into your comfort position as soon as time allowed for it? That's 3 times viewed in the video. Yeah. I haven't heard a damn thing since Jeremy stopped talking. I mean, I'm talking now. So I never heard any of this MCU bullshit. I have on Twitter with people getting angry that girls are in their Marvel properties and despite vehemently not being gay, they desperately need masculineness. Top Gun was also a gay celebratory film, just the volleyball scene alone. Anyways
will all pale in comparison. Now, Thor Love and Thunder is the first true Phase 4 movie that I think I'm not sure about, because it'll be long enough after the lockdowns and stuff to expect a reasonable box office. We had Spider-Man make $1 billion. It's possible. I didn't think that era would ever happen again, but Spider-Man did it. I believe I did give that caveat at the time, but it may still be true. Nobody went to see Black Widow. Nobody saw Shang-Chi. And I'm not saying these are bad movies. I'm just saying nobody went.
Wait, did nobody see Black Widow? I'm actually curious about that one. Hold on. Black Widow is currently the highest grossing domestic movie of 2021 with $181.5 million in the United States and was the 5th highest grossing movie of the year worldwide. Disney's expected Black Widow suffered a brutal blow at the box office, falling 67% compared to its opening weekend and dashing hopes. It was still a very high-grossing film. It was still a very successful film on it. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings box office, $432 million. Wait, they released on the same day, you just needed to pay for it on Disney Plus? Oh, okay. So it did have a simultaneous release. You had to pay $20 to watch it on Disney Plus. Oh, wasn't it like you had to pay extra money to watch it? Like it released to all people later, but like at the beginning you had to pay movie ticket prices almost. Okay. So yeah, that does beg the question, like, are you factoring in that Black Widow did have that simultaneous release? Are you? Also, Aaron Primmett, thank you very much for redeeming your points for it. You fucking monster. I don't know, it feels like a very awkward point then. If you actually are factoring in the fact that that movie came out on other services besides just being at the movies, then the numbers make a little more sense. They really do. And it makes sense that Shang-Chi would have had higher numbers then too. Because from what I know, that doesn't have the same. Spider-Man sold more because it was in theaters only and it's Spider-Man. Yeah. So that's also the other thing. Like, Spider-Man is a property that is almost universally loved on the merits of it being Spider-Man. Just like Batman. Batman is almost universally loved on the merits of it being Batman. Black Widow is a character that you needed to be taught to love. You watched the second Iron Man movie and you saw Natasha Romanoff, and slowly you developed a liking of the character so that they could get their own property. Spider-Man doesn't need that same thing. Spider-Man functionally operates on its own. So yeah, no, these are weird points, but maybe these are points made because the Quartering's not enthusiastic about any of this, and so he's half-assing his points. Who knows?
Because for a lot of people, Endgame was it. We were done. We already in the fridge. We're done. We've released. We're in the kitchen making a sandwich now, and you're releasing MCU movies, and we're looking for the Gatorade. And they're so formulaic that I literally can't even get up to like pretend to care about it. I like Watiti's work. I do. What We Do in the Shadows is one of my all-time favorite shows, at least the first season or two. Hilarious. Deadpan. Like vampires did The Office kind of thing. Hilarious. He's involved with that show. Jojo Rabbit, I thought was just amazing. Excellent movie. His last Thor movie, a lot of people said was their favorite. It's not my favorite. It was Ragnarok, I think he did, right? And now he's doing this one, which is good.
I wonder what his favorite is then. Because, like, for a lot of people, Ragnarok's really good. The first one is kind of middling, and, like, Dark World is considered meh, usually, right? So I'm just kind of curious about which one it would be. It doesn't really change a whole lot of my perspective, but...
Gonna be just goofy. You know, they got, you know, you had this, like, cringe moment back in 2019. This is why I don't care. Like, here, look, she's put on some meat. Here's Natalie, like, oh, you, come on. You gotta run an ad on a freaking Twitter video?
Doesn't he edit his content?
Like, you had this big moment.
And she's here. And introduce her to you now. Please, welcome to the station, Natalie.
So they bring in Natalie Portman, and he does this. He goes down on his knees, and he presents her with Mjolnir. It's so cringe. I know canonically, other people can wield, those that are worthy can wield the hammer. I get it.
Okay.
I just don't, like, when I'm watching Endgame and I'm watching, like, 5 different people toss around Mjolnir, it's not the...
5 people? You mean... Literally, okay, so hold on. In that movie is Captain America, Thor, and Vision, right? Like, Vision could hold it, Thor could hold it, and Vision could hold it. And that's it, right? And then we're just tossing it around. I get... Does he just have to rely on the hyperbole? Is that it? I don't watch enough Quartering content to know how much he relies on hyperbole for his points. There's only 3 people in the whole MCU before Endgame is over who was able to wield it. 4 if you count Hela. Okay. So, Is his point supposed to be that he doesn't think that Natalie Portman's character, like Jane Foster, should be able to wield it? Does he not think that that's a thing that should happen because it diminishes the idea that you can have Mjolnir still be significant? I don't know.
It's not cool then to me. It's Thor's weapon. And again, I know that I'm just being honest how I feel. It's cringy seeing Captain America use it. I don't like it.
How is it cringy? Can you back up why, or is it just you don't like it? Is that all we're going to get?
It's Thor's weapon. And like this movie comes out, you see this, like, here's an article. The trailer appears to imply a good portion of the film would be character study about Thor, where he tries to find his purpose in his world following the events of Avengers Endgame. Along with the first teaser trailer, Marvel released a brand new synopsis for the film. It begins. The film finds Thor on a journey unlike anything he's ever faced. A quest for inner peace. He's done this quest 3 or 4 times now. His retirement is interrupted by a galactic evil person known as Gore, the God Butcher, who's played by Christian Bale. I'm kind of excited about that. Who seeks the extinction of gods. To combat the threat, Thor enlists the help of King Valkyrie, Slay Queen, Korg, who's also played by Taika. He self-inserts all the time. And his ex-girlfriend, Jane Foster, who, to Thor's surprise, inexplicably wields his magical hammer, Mjolnir, as the Mighty Thor. It continues. They want you to call it the Mighty Thor, not Jane Foster.
Because when Jane Foster started wielding Mjolnir in the comics, she was Thor. That was literally what that it was a transformation into Thor for her. Jeremy, you're supposed to be enthusiastic about this stuff, right? Like, that that's a comics accurate thing, right? Yeah, anyone who wields the hammer has the power of Thor. What's weird about that? That was a firmly established thing early on in the series, so it's kind of an expected thing. Like, Thor just going, anyone who is worthy can wield it. Okay, cool. And then Captain America almost picked it up in an earlier MCU film, foreshadowing that he would be able to wield it later, perfectly fine. And then, of course, Jane Foster being able to wield it, that's been a thing in the comics for a long time. Nami, thank you very much for resubscribing. It was established in the first Thor, but Jeremy can't remember that far back. Yeah, it's when he says, like, but it's Thor's weapon. It's cringy if it's not wielded by Thor. Look, that's a very hyper-opinionated point that doesn't really have anything backing it up besides you cringed. Okay, cool. What's the adage now? Don't kill the part of you that is cringe. Kill the part of you that cringes.
Because they want to replace Thor with a woman. That's just the facts. Along with the teaser trailer, the new synopsis, they also released a new poster. The poster looks cool. It's that again, it's this played out like 80s fonts and stuff like that. It doesn't appear to me. Then of course we see Valkyrie in a business suit because she's, you gotta be able to tell that Valkyrie's, I don't know what they call her, like bi or agender or whatever. Ooh, she's wearing a business suit, and they call her king. Why? Nobody knows. Maybe it's Norse mythology. They didn't have queens. I'm not an expert.
Okay, so I just want to point out, just real quick, just throwing it out there that this is a thing. But let's go ahead and get mad that we're calling it the Mighty Thor. And yeah, she's king because she was told to take charge of the Asgardians. And if her character doesn't want to be called a queen, then she doesn't have to be. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, how is her character's in a suit even a point against anything, Jeremy?
And like Twitter's losing its mind with hopium about how amazing it's going to be. Most of my peers losing their minds with copium, talking about how bad it's going to be. But the real truth is it's going to be...
And what, you're the enlightened centrist between the two? Only Jeremy can see the light.
Be mediocre. Waititi is going to do a decent job. I just don't care about Marvel movies anymore like I used to. They've already destroyed all the characters I loved. They've emasculated Thor's character over the past 3 or 4 movies.
How? Do you think being depressed is emasculating? Do you think decapitating Thanos is emasculating? Do you think participating in gladiatorial combat is emasculating? What event emasculated him? I've been confused.
They killed off Iron Man. There isn't, you know, like other than Guardians of the Galaxy, which I still kind of enjoyed. That's been downhill too. The same problem with Guardians of the Galaxy. First one, great. Second one, too many damn jokes.
The first one had just as many jokes as the second one. What the fuck, Jeremy? Anyway.
I like a good comedy. A lot of people say Step Brothers is one of the best all time of our era. Even that, about like 45 minutes in, like I get laughed out. Like, we get it. A lot of crazy stuff's going on, but you're superheroes, and you're like, pew pew, quip, pew pew, quip. We get it. But like, that's like the entirety of the dialogue. These guys don't take anything seriously ever. If they're facing the extinction of the human race, and they're just like, heh 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 heh, joke. Like that, I get it. But what that tells me is like, I'm not the audience.
So at least I can agree with the criticism there as well. I do. Because when I do these types of response videos, I want to be fair. I don't want to just be like, Jeremy said a thing, therefore he's wrong. Because that's not fair to anybody. You need to be fair to anyone you're doing a response video to. So, yes, Marvel has very quippy humor in its movies. And yeah, it can literally destroy the pacing of certain scenes. The emotional weight gets taken out by a lot of the humor in Marvel properties. Sure, I get that. It is a criticism of the Marvel series, and it's one that I generally agree with. You can do a superhero property without that. Look at the stark difference between the original version of Justice League and the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. The quippy, like, awkward humor in the original versus the Snyder cut that literally fixed all of those cuts. There's a huge difference between the weight that those scenes carry in the two movies. So yeah, I agree with the point. There's not much more to say about that though. But so they were equally as bad still? Bullshit. Okay, you know what? I will go on record and say this. Despite my issues with the guy, Zack Snyder's Justice League is probably the best superhero film I have ever seen. Of all of the superhero films I have seen, I will gladly take that film in its entirety and put it as like one of the best I have watched. And I know there's probably going to be somebody who says that I'm stupid or my opinion on anything Marvel is now discredited because that is my take. But there are very few movies that I have walked away from feeling the way I did after watching that film. That's just me. I do think that Jeremy is taking the jaded fan angle. Have I seen The Batman? Yes, I have. And I think it's a very good movie. I think that it is... what? I wouldn't necessarily put it up with Dark Knight in terms of being the best Batman film, but it's certainly the most holistic Batman film. Even though it's basically just the Mask of Phantasm. It's literally just the Mask of Phantasm story again. But we're replacing our mystery character from Phantasm with the Riddler. And I'm okay with that story. I'm okay with that being what that movie is. I like it a lot. So Spider-Man No Way Home good? No Way Home is probably in my top 5. The only reason No Way Home does not go higher in my realm and does not sit at the number 1 spot is because you have to have watched so many other Spider-Man properties beforehand to get out of that movie what it's trying to sell you. I have watched those movies, so it was perfect for me. but if you haven't watched those movies, it feels very much like watching the 60th episode of a shonen anime where the big bad is finally destroyed. As much as I love that movie. Whereas, like, I think Zack Snyder's Justice League stands on its own. I think that the Batman stands on its own. That's just my take. There we go. The comic book hot takes are there.
You know, like, I'm just gotten older and crabbier, and I like movies like The Batman, and I like Joker, and I like the Christopher Nolan Batman series. I like serious movies about, even with these characters, like, could you imagine if, like, we did, like, a serious dark movie with Thor or something like that, like, instead of just constant jokes? But I know that's not what they want. That's not what the kids want that they're catering to. Because that's what they're obsessed.
Old man yells at cloud at 11. Old man yells at cloud at 11. That's what I got here.
With is, like, what do the kids on Twitter say about it? Oh my god, more representation, slay queen. It's fine. I don't care. Like,
there's 11 minutes of evidence that you do.
We know what Disney's doing. We know what Marvel's doing. They're pushing out the strong alpha male characters either by replacing them or humiliating them, and they've been doing it for years. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.
They've been pushing out the strong alpha. Thor's in the movie. He's still in the movie. What strong alpha male characters have they been taking out? Iron Man died. He's like the one. He's the only one. Who else? What other strong alpha male characters were taken out? Thanos? Okay. Sure, Jeremy. Sure. You know what? That entire movie, that entire video was worth it for that ending alone. I need my movies to have strong alpha male characters. I'm not gay. I need them to not be the MCU. I'm not gay. I need my films to be very serious and have buff macho men being very serious and introspective. I'm not gay. And neither is Top Gun. Jesus Christ. Come on, Jeremy. You can do better. You really can. But I'll go for the low blow and say that I know that historically, harassing people to the point where you get banned from Magic the Gathering events is more your style. Anyways, that's my take on that. That was almost a nothing burger video until the end there. He's not gay, but he keeps watching that testicle tanning commercial for some reason. We need to do that one. We need to actually cover that at some point. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't liked any of the Thor movies, so I'm not really excited for this one. For me, my favorite parts of the MCU have been Iron Man. I enjoyed Hawkeye. I really liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier. WandaVision was okay. I love Iron Man, though, personally. So I guess we throw this here. What is your favorite part of the MCU? That'll be the conversation in the comments section below. Hopefully. Nobody can say on topic in there, though. It's fine. Oh, shit, I forgot Loki. I don't know how I forgot Loki. But yeah, Loki was fucking good, too. So you enjoyed Black Panther and Age of Ultron? I enjoyed Black Panther. The only thing I didn't enjoy about Black Panther was the end. I hated the fight scene. I'm sorry. Okay, so there I do have an example of mediocre CGI in the MCU. I forgot the Black Panther fight scene at the end. That exists. That is, I expect that in a PlayStation 2 game. But yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I have given my hot takes. CG at the end of Black Panther, bad. Zack Snyder's Justice League, very good. A quartering thing happened as well, I think. As always, everybody, insert end of video tagline here.